Welcome to the bold analysis, and today I'm going to run some series. It's known as the 5 Faces. So I want us to look at something that has been happening in the public space, because the campaigns are just now starting officially from Sunday. Even though me and you understand that in Kenya, campaigns started some 4 years ago. So in this analysis, in my 5 Faces series, I just want to do a reflection of what has been happening in the campaign trail. And this one, where Deputy President William Ruto is getting it badly. Or rather, what is really haunting his publicity, even as he's doing the campaigns. I think after this, I'm also going to do 5 faces of one Kalonzo Musyoka. Then we'll also look at Martha Karua, Rigathi Gachagua, and Raila Odinga. So make sure you subscribe, because I promise you this will be a very interesting analysis. What is happening here is, ladies and gentlemen, that apart from what politicians are saying, in communication we say, I don't listen to what you are saying, but I try to decode what you understand. So the difference from what people are saying in rallies and what Kenyans sit back and understand. When you just sit down with your friends or with your peers and just doing analysis, you will always find out that people have a different understanding of the candidates apart from what everyone else know. And according to me, there are 5 faces of Deputy President William Ruto that is been doubting, or rather is been affecting his publicity, even when he's doing the campaigns or rather the rallies. This is very interesting, and I just want us to go straight to the first one. But before that, kindly subscribe to our channel. There is religious hypocrisy. That is the first face of Deputy President, because on the same, just as a person, this side, he's branded and packaged himself as a candidate of the church, a candidate with spiritual endorsement, and someone who will always find a space, or rather in any public gathering, will always quote a Bible verse. And were it not for a clear understanding, he once mentioned that we have God and we have the people. This has been packaged well to endear himself to the faithful, so rather the clergy, the church going. And matters of religion are very emotive. So when people go to church, everyone is a saint. But it is a bit of a religious hypocrisy, because on the other side, he leaves the church, steps out, and starts abusing the other leaders. There is a famous statement by saying, mtu akitendawili, mzee mganga, especially this is normally targeted towards Raila Odinga, mzee mganga, mtu akung'oa reli. Now, this statement, when Ruto goes to church and you happen to follow maybe live proceedings from service, you see a very calm man. You see a very collected man. You see a saint, superhuman being. But when he gets on top of cars, there is another personality in him. This kind of, this face of religious hypocrisy has actually made even the people that he approached and people who are supporting him on those religious grounds, or rather like he's their candidate, really doubt. And when you're in church and come back home and watch TV, or rather watch, maybe go online and search the rally that he held at the doorstep of the church, you will be kept wondering, is this the person that was really showing himself as the man of God? This religious hypocrisy, in my understanding, is one face that is really denting his publicity. Secondly, is the land protection versus his history on land issues. When he went to Mombasa recently in a rally, and I think he handed over a Senate Speaker on conditions to Amason Kingi, then promised to address the land issue by saying that they will buy land and distribute, and the ones that may be on some agreement, because if you have land, you're supposed to utilize it. So if you're not utilizing it, they might work on legislations to make sure that the squatters maybe are covered or are given back their land. The land question has been very emotive in this country, and especially it's normally used to the coast. This land protection and addressing the land injustices does not augur well with his history on land grabbing. And I was just telling myself, the people who handle his communications, rather his political messaging, in the same week you are in Taita Taveta and confessing that you acquired 2,500 acres of land from, is it Critical? I think that guy was a member of parliament in Taita Taveta. And in Taita Taveta, there's problems with squatters who feel that their land was grabbed by the colonial government and maybe powerful individuals in government. So the same problem is in Taita Taveta and is in some parts of Mombasa and is in Kilifi and Kwale. Now, in the same week, while you're saying that, you know that in the background, he's facing allegations of land grabbing in Nairobi, I think the Lanangata school. There is also the issue of the Western Hotel. There are some, I don't know, Mutesh. There are many. Most of you guys can mention them. This phase of saying, I can protect land, while on the other side you have this, it's not selling. And to some people, they're just seeing this as a political rhetoric. I want to look one that is normally very public. Corruption and funding projects. There is something that, and I want to connect this with what Raila Odinga says. Raila Odinga says that I am going to fund my projects because I know where money is getting lost, so I'm going to seal loopholes. Now, William Ruto is saying that I'm going to fund projects, I'm going to give Tenga billions for construction of road from point A to point B, giving grants or rather some loans to mamambogas and all that. But in terms of funding projects, there is a question that he fails to answer: where that money is coming from. Where that money is coming from. And again, this is a phase that dents his manifesto. When you say I'm going to build, we are going to pay for NHIF, and I think that was in Busia, and I followed it. He was saying that by December, we are going to make sure that everyone in Kenya has NHIF, and we are going to waiver so that those who earn more should pay more, and those who earn less should earn less. And I support him on that ground. However, that funding projects narrative is someone who is spreading hope. But in the face of that hope, he's facing another challenge on this other side, the face of corruption. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know whether we are getting it, but these are some of these observations. Nothing is from the moon, because all these are in the public space. Let's also look at hustler personification and his real stature. Maybe I'm using the wrong word. It is hustler characterization versus his real stature. And this is for political rhetoric, where maybe you go somewhere, you plan on how someone gonna bring you wheelbarrow, you plan on people maybe buying mandazis by roadside and trying to go down to the people. It is very good for political posturing. Now that hustler personification, you just need to address the problem of the masses without you being the masses. Because real Kenyans, and not real Kenyans, majority of Kenyans then doubt you. Are you really a hustler? And I like his poster, because in his poster he has mentioned something that every hustle matter. If I was the person packaging the hustler narrative, I would detach from me as a hustler, but just address the will of the people. You just, instead of showing yourself as someone who is poor, honestly, while everyone else know you are not poor. What happens to the law, and you know, Kenyan politicians, sorry to say this, but they ride on low literacy levels. But to a middle class person who understands that you are simply posturing, there is a face of a man who grew from chicken seller to deputy president, which is very true. But this same man wants to say that I am like you. Kama si tutaanza hapa na nyinyi tukisonga. While the truth of the matter, you are not as poor as those people. His stature does not allow him to personify himself as a hustler. In fact, you will just rather gel with the people, but don't call yourself hustler. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know, I may be wrong, but calling himself hustler is what is a face that makes some other people to pose a question. Wait, is he the hustler? Hustler is hustler. So that is also one of it. Lastly, and this is very interesting, idea-based campaigns is another face of him. Or idea-based politics is the left face of him, but on the right face of him is insults. Now, let's just use a good example. When you follow the rallies, and you might realize that in June we might be talking more about campaigns and messaging, because this is the second phase. In April we were in nominations, May we were in the candidates and running mates. Now here we are into the real campaigns, then July we are at the home stretch. So when you say that for the first time we are introducing politics that is idea-based or rather issue-based, so ndio maana wanasema we have the model, we have mpango, we have everything. But that BUEM is the idea. On the other side, even if you're asking Azimio team to bring in their idea, when you go on your vote hunting, you don't use that idea as a selling point. And let's just face it here. When Musalia Mudavadi, Moses Kuria, and the UDA leaders, especially the campaign mouthpiece, when they go to central Kenya, out of all that they say, they make sure they either attack Raila or attack President Uhuru Kenyatta. So where is the issue-based politics? If you really believe that if you tell people about BUEM and they are going to buy and they are going to vote for you on that ground, then you should stick with that face. But on the other side, you are saying issue-based, while if you go to where you're supposed to speak to issues, no way. Let's take a good example is the county conventions that have been going on. I was saying that there is nothing like county conventions. If you just follow those proceedings, you realize that what trends after those county conventions is how Moses Kuria was insulting Uhuru, or how Deputy President William Ruto was trying to attack Raila Odinga. For example, they had an economic forum in Mombasa. When they came back, it was all about the port issue and how the president has not done and what they're going to do. So the truth of the matter here is that idea-based politics, people don't buy it. And that is why I can say, in the fullness of time, the politics of this country is not going to change as we might think. It will still remain, sadly enough, on attacking candidate X and also instilling fear so that you can be voted in. Book a date with me. I have a very interesting 5 faces of Raila Odinga. That will be probably tomorrow. And kindly subscribe to the bold.